Awesome. So before kind of starting Nourished and Free, share what like your, I mean, I know it's probably hard to think about because that was like forever ago, but share what your struggles were, like kind of the reason that you reached out for help.
Just super horrible body image issues, um, really bad, like binge eating throughout the night, like totally disorganized with like my life and work and eating schedule and overall wellness, like not a priority at all. But just like so unhappy with my body all the time, like took up almost every thought in my mind. And I just didn't, and frankly, couldn't live that way anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And the struggle with like disorganization in your life, like you mentioned that, and it really bled into a lot of different things, like your nutrition and your body image and stuff like that. Like, did you
Absolutely.
realize that was something that was affecting so many different things in your life?
No, I didn't realize like I just thought, so I'm a nurse, so I just thought that that was just like what it looked like to be a nurse and to
Mhm.
like feel just so disorganized with like the hours I worked and like my eating schedule and everything like that. I just thought that that was like the way it was. I just had to like do better at accepting it, or like I needed to work harder or do more, or I was being lazy. So yeah, no, I didn't realize that it was impacting like every arena of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you feel about your life's kind of organization now? I know things are, I mean, kind of share about like what your job and your schooling schedule is, just for people
Yeah.
that don't know you.
So I am a doctoral student at the University of Nebraska Medicine. So that's a super heavy schedule, getting my psychiatric NP. Additionally, I am a nurse at a psychiatric residential facility in Omaha with kids. And so that's like super demanding. Since COVID, the staffing obviously is like none. So I have to work crazy hours, all hours of the day. And fitting that in with my schoolwork has just been really taxing. And then additionally, at the beginning of the year, I was also diagnosed with a chronic arthritis condition. So trying to figure out what all these things are going to mean to me has been a difficult journey. So now I still have like bad days, still have pain days, still have days where, I'm like working on an assignment until, 11:55, but more so like I don't feel like my life is so out of control anymore. I don't like get off work at 11 and just like ravage my fridge and like eat everything in sight. And then go to bed feeling like really cruddy about myself. Like I'll never be, I'll never look like I did, when I was in a sorority in college or whatever. I'll never look like that again. And, I'll never get married. No one will ever want me. Like I don't go to bed with like those really emotionally taxing thoughts anymore.
Yeah, and that's incredible. I think, knowing you, like you're still super busy. It's not like your life has like magically you haven't gotten more free time necessarily, right?
No, not at all. No,
Yeah,
it's still the same. Yeah, it's in fact busier in some ways at the moment.
totally.
Yeah.
And yet, like, you feel different. Like, the circumstances you've just learned how to navigate and how to, like, still have that healthy relationship with food. Like you said, not like binging at night as soon as you get home from work and having those thoughts that just don't serve you. Like, you've learned how to navigate that in the midst of an insane schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely haven't, like, my schedule hasn't opened up at all. I'm still in the same, and like will continue to be in the same circumstance for until I at least finish my doctorate. But I don't feel like my life is so unmanageable and out of control. And something I didn't think I would like gain through this program is like I've been way better at setting boundaries with like my job
Mhm.
and other people. So I just really good about like when I'm not at work, I turn my phone off. I don't answer phone calls unless it's like absolutely emergent, not like where did we put a pill cutter. So I don't answer those things. I don't pick up extra shifts if I don't feel good. If my body hurts, then I listen to that and I don't go to work. And I've taken, so like one thing I'm so bad at is taking sick days. But since I have an autoimmune condition now, I have to be more serious about doing that. And so I've taken the sick days I've needed to take.
Yeah.
Uh, Instead of going to work, like feeling terrible and then like being cranky nurse.
Mm-hmm. It's so good. It's so good. I love boundaries. I'm glad that you can use them now. They're they do amazing things for our health, our mental and physical health.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something that's so hard for women, especially healthcare providers. You just want to give and give and give of yourself all the time. But there were so many days I had nothing actually left to give, and I would just be like cranky, irritable nurse, and that's not like the person I am or the person I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody gets into the healthcare profession selfishly. There's always like the desire to help people. And so you're right, like saying no to helping people is like against our nature, you know? And
Sure.
but then, like you said, like when you give and give, then you have at some point nothing left to give. And so I love that you're learning kind of that balance. I know something I hear a lot from nurses is with their, specifically when they're like on the clock, they struggle with like the concept of like intuitive eating or even just like eating at all while they're working. So how do you feel like your ability to care for your body with nutrition during your work hours has been?
And that's something that there are always going to be days that I will struggle with that depending on the workload. But it's like the acceptance of that, if I eat Cheetos with the kids for snack, like it's not the end of the world. And additionally that eat those, it didn't give me energy. I don't feel good. My body actually didn't want that. And I can change course then. It doesn't feel like the end of the world. So I'm able to like recognize what does and does not give my body energy and what makes me feel good and what makes me feel sluggish or causes joint pain, digestive issues, whatever. So I feel better with that. And I just oftentimes have to go into the office and shut the door to be able to eat because or else it doesn't really happen. Or there's times where I'm like literally standing outside of a locked seclusion door, watching a kid and eating then. So you kind of have to make it work, whatever that looks like for you.
Right. Absolutely. Do you feel like you have, are you better at your job now? Do you have more energy because you're able to fuel your body for it, or any differences there?
I think that I have a better mindset for my job. I don't know that it's changed like my abilities, but I think that I have a better mindset when I feel like appropriately like nourished and I have like I'm satisfied, I guess. I'm not like, I don't get like, I guess hangry is like the word. I'm not getting like, hangry. Or like, sneaking into the break room and getting a cupcake because it's someone's birthday. Like been able to say no to that a lot of times without feeling like, oh, I really wanted that. Like, I'm like, actually, I really didn't. And I only get one when it's actually a good one. It's not like a Walmart cupcake when I actually really want the cupcake. So that's been really helpful, and just trying to keep up with like, which seems so simple, but like water intake throughout the shift. That's so helpful because nurses particularly like so bad about that. Like just never taking a moment to drink water. So I've been really like taping my water bottle to me.
It's awesome. I love it. So kind of moving forward, after spending a good amount of time with the program and kind of just getting support from me, how confident do you feel that you can continue to adapt and take care of your body and be binge free and listen to your body?
Well, because it was like a longer situation, like it was 16 weeks, right? I feel like that was incorporated more into a lifestyle change than it was just like like a, 2 weeks you do this and you lose 10 pounds, whatever, and then you stop that, and like that was never a thing that you really adopted.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was more adopted into like my way of life now. And like additionally, um, through setting those boundaries at work, like I just don't get those calls as much anymore. Um, so I don't have some of the same issues that I was so struggling with before. But in terms of like eating, I just feel some things just don't feel good anymore, or at certain times, I guess, at least, and I just don't want them. So that's kind of changed my mindset like a little bit. It's a little bit of like rewiring of the brain. So I feel like there's no way I could go back, I guess, at this point. My brain just feels different now.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And that is like when I was thinking about how to set this up so that people really got the lasting change they were looking for, it was like, well, it's got to be 12 to 16 weeks. Otherwise, there's not going to be a long-term change here. And it's because of exactly what you said. There has to be rewiring of the brain. A lot of times, like people are coming in with habits and thought processes that are just literally hardwired, and they're extremely hard to break. And so you can't do like a 2 or 4 or even 6 week thing that you find off of Pinterest and expect it to give you a lifestyle change, like it really
Right.
takes
Yeah.
a lot of digging and a lot of practice. So I love that. It's awesome that you brought that up. What would you say to somebody, especially someone like even in the nursing field or not, but just somebody that is in your same situation of having like, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of stress. It's easy to think like, I don't have time to put energy into this or prioritize myself. What would you say to them about if they're considering prioritizing themselves?
When I like started the program, it was like a hard decision for me because it's a financial investment and it's a time investment, and I felt like I had no more to give. However, like I couldn't afford not to. My health was at like just all-time low. I ended up getting COVID through being a nurse, and my health was just so horrible at that time. It really affected me in so many ways. And then having that autoimmune diagnosis, I've never been like sicker. I've never been at a higher weight or just anything, and never been so unhappy with my body. And I really thought about it for a long time before I did it, if I wanted to make the investment or not. Um, However, like if I wouldn't have done that, I would have been such in a worse health place now. I can just say, like, from all my doctors and my specialists and stuff, I'm way better off health wise now than I was at the start of this. And I mean, truly and honestly, even if from like a financial standpoint, that saves me money in the long term, because obviously medical bills are expensive. But it was a super hard decision for me. But I'm grateful that I did make that decision, because it would have been really, I still would have been so unhappy. It's still so unhealthy too at the very start of it. And not just like weight wise, but like my cardiovascular health, like still really struggled with feeling so out of breath from COVID. I don't have that at all anymore. Um, and it's not like I've lost a significant amount of weight at all. So it's not just from weight loss, it's from like true lifestyle change.
Yes, I love that you brought that up. That's, for people that, don't know my philosophy or whatever, like I really don't focus on weight loss because there's plenty of research out there that says you don't need to lose weight to improve those other things. And Taylor, you're such a good example of that because like your weight didn't necessarily drastically change.
No,
Um,
no.
but you had so many like positive changes in your health. Measurement wise, like cardiovascular. And didn't you? I remember you saying something about lab values, right? Didn't something come back that was getting better? Am I wrong there?
Just in terms of like with my rheumatologist, like things were just much more moving in the right direction. I have a lot less joint pain now. than I did at the beginning.
Yeah.
And just truly a lot less like feelings of like worthlessness or hopelessness, helplessness kind of feelings, and even anxiety. I
Yeah.
don't really feel, I guess I don't feel like my life is so out of control anymore.
Yeah. That's amazing. I hear that a lot too, where people are like, I have to lose weight in order for my joints to feel better. And that's just like not necessarily the case, right? Like you can improve the feelings of your joints with just the behaviors alone. There doesn't have to be a change in weight first. Sometimes that comes and sometimes that helps, but it's not necessarily like the end all be all. So that's a good, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
it's not
good
all or
at
nothing.
Yeah, totally. Um, and I love what you said too. Like, yeah, it's an investment of like time and money and energy, but it's like, I think you said like you couldn't afford not to, right? Like in the long term, when we think about investments, it's like an investment kind of implies that you're going to get a return, or you hope to at least.
Yeah.
And when it's something about your health, like I feel like there's two different camps of people where they find things that have to do with their health as an inconvenience. And like, I don't want to spend money on that. It just feels annoying that I have to. And then there's the other side where people are like, well, this is an investment. Like, this is actually my life and my health and my body. And I have to take care of it in order to do the millions of things I want to do in my life. And that's like, the place where you were at. Like, no, I've got to take care of myself because otherwise it's just going to get worse. And then in the long run, it will cost more because of medical bills and everything. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Great mentality. Absolutely. What was your favorite part of working with me, going through the program, getting this all figured out?
I really appreciated like the not focus on weight. Um, so like I would get my when I would get my weight, I would get it turned around and I would never know what it is. Um, and I appreciated that. And I mean, through the whole thing, I don't weigh myself at all at home. And I see my weight when I go to the doctor's office, but even then, sometimes I turn my head because I don't know that I need to notice frequently as it's in my face. Um, so I think that change has been so helpful because obviously, I'd have some anxiety going to the doctor, like, okay, your weight is XYZ. You really need to get that weight off, like telling you things that are obviously already like always going through your mind, but offering no like tools, right? Like you just need to get that weight off. It's like a joy. But I really appreciated that aspect. And then additionally, about halfway through the modules, there was like an assessment on like spiritual, emotional, everything like that. And that really encompassed like the totality of myself from every aspect and every arena. And that really made me um, change my mind on certain things, like on journaling. I was super, even though I'm a psych nurse, which is funny, but I was like, I'm not doing that. But that made me change my mind on some things like, okay, maybe like that actually would be beneficial instead of like just like me and me having that conversation all day long, like writing those thoughts down. And like additionally, I hadn't bought a new pair of jeans for myself like in forever because I'm like, I don't want to wear a pair of jeans in the body I'm in now. I won't buy something for this body. But since being in the program, I've bought a lot of new clothes. And it's not because like I have a brand new body and it's like so thin shopping spree. I have the same body. But I'm not going to like punish it every day by making it wear sweatpants. So
So good, Taylor. So
yeah,
powerful.
that was a big difference for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel any difference in your confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you dress poorly, like to your own mindset, right? Like what you think is poorly, you feel poorly. And so I don't do that to myself anymore. I wear what's comfortable and I wear what I like, and I've been able to buy clothes and not feel like this is too big of a size, like you shouldn't even be fitting into this, like when you were in college, this would never be a thing, whatever. I still have those thoughts from time to time, obviously, but I'm better able to manage them.
That's so awesome. Even though your weight didn't necessarily change drastically, you still have more confidence, you still feel better, cardiovascular health is better, joint pain is better, your relationship with food. I mean, it's like, man, all these things that people look to weight loss for, um, you got without focusing on weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome, Taylor. Well, you are a prime example of everything that I hope to this program to do for people. Just the holistic health part of nutrition, like it's so much more than just the food. You know, there's stress management involved, physical activity, your relationship with food, emotions, like there's so much involved and really packaged up into our life with nutrition that it does take like a lot of work and a lot of time to sort through it all and figure out how to be, sorry if you can hear that, there's a truck driving by, but how to be set up for long-term success. And you've done an amazing job.
Yeah, I really appreciate all of your help and guidance.
Yeah, awesome.